everyone. Okay, today here I am with a topic that is inclusive education. Inclusive education simply means that we have to include everyone. Include everyone in every aspect. Okay, and here we are going to talk about the children, that how we are going to include the children in our normal school system. Okay, but there is a misconception with inclusive education. People think that whenever we are talking about including the children, it's only about the disabled or the specially challenged students. Okay, but it's not like that. Inclusive education means including everyone, whether it is from any caste, religion, creed, everywhere. It's not only about the specially challenged children. So here it is, every child has unique characteristics, interests, ability and learning needs. As every child is having something special with them, that's why we are talking about including each and every child in a normal school. Okay, so what does inclusive education mean? Inclusive education is defined as the learning environment that promote the full personal, academic and professional development of all learners irrespective to their race, class, color, gender, disability, sexual preference, learning style and language. Keeping all these things aside, we have to include each and every child in our education system. So this is the meaning of the inclusive education. Now what has been the history of inclusive education? From where we have started and now where we have right now. We have first one is the isolation and exclusion. If we are talking about the earlier time, then the children were excluded and isolated on the basis of their caste, gender. If we are talking about Gurukuls also, earlier time, there everyone was not able to attend the school. Everyone was not allowed over there also. So basically from earlier what we are doing with the children, we are excluding them. We are isolating them on different basis. Like if you are not from upper class, then you are not going to get education. If you are disabled, then also you are not promoted to have good education system. So these all are the categories on the basis we used to isolate the children in the earlier time, most earlier time if we are talking about. After then the time came where we talked about the inclusion. But this inclusion is dependent on the basis of availability. What is available, on that basis we are going to include those. It means in this era also every child was not included. Next, the era of empowerment. Here we talked about empowering. Empower, do you understand? What does it mean? Anyone? What does empowerment means to you?
Make someone powerful in respective field.
It basically that you have to believe in yourself and we are making them to believe in themselves that they have something unique in them and accordingly they can achieve whatever they want to. We are empowering them. Next, the era of prohibition and legal discrimination. It means here we talked about that we are not going to discriminate anyone. Okay? We are not going to discriminate anyone on any basis. We are not allowed to discriminate them. That era also came. But in this era also, everyone was not included. See, all these categories are present because ultimately our goal was to put everyone in a same level. To give every possible things to every child. That was because of that only we have crossed all these eras. Next, the era of sympathy. It means now we are showing sympathy towards another. Okay? Like in your normal classroom also. Now also we can see that. If someone is especially challenged, we are showing our sympathy towards them. Rather than showing that you are not less than anyone else, we are only developing that in them that they are inferior to others. Okay, so that era was also there. Then the era of isolated and segregation came. It means here we came with the education system, but a separate education system. Like if we are talking about disabled also or especially challenged also, they will go to school, they will attain the education, but in a separate school. We are not talking about inclusion over here. Okay? Like if someone is from weaker section, this misconception now also we have. If someone is studying in government schools, we have that misconception that he is not financially good, that's why he is studying in a government school. Okay? And if a child is going to a private school, it means he is belonging to a wealthy family. This misconception is still now we have. So at that time, what was the thing? At that time we have included but not properly. We have given, basically we have separated them. That you will get everything but separately. Okay? Now also many specially challenged schools are there for specially challenged children. And earlier it was actually for especially challenged students also only. For those children only a separate school has to be built. They were not included in the normal schools. Then the era of inclusive education came, in which we are living. This is the era of inclusive education, where we are including each and every child. Whether he is from any other caste, any religion, any breed, economically wealthy or not, we are including everyone. Our government is also taking initiative on this. Now we have EWS session in schools also. It means that economically weaker section students are also allowed to study in private schools. Earlier it was not there. Okay, disabled students can also come over here. So this is the era of inclusive education, where we have included each and every child with open heartedly, and we are providing education to them in same level. Okay? And next one. Okay. So basically these are the 9 principles of inclusive education. The first one is recognizing and embrace students' diversity. It means that every child is unique. So what we need to, we have to recognize his abilities. Now what we are focusing on? We are focusing on the disabilities. But what it is teaching? It is teaching that everyone is having some kind of disability in them. Okay. But what we have to find out is, we have to recognize their ability. And we have to grow those in upper levels, basically. The second one is providing accessible and usable learning resources and environment. In second one, what we are talking about? We are talking about that now we have to provide resources. Resources, because we are talking about the inclusion. Inclusion is that in our classroom, if 30 students are there, those 30 can be different to each other. So accordingly, we have to provide the resources also. For example, a question is for all of you. If in your classroom a hearing impaired children is there, okay? If you are teaching on a projector and one of the students in your classroom is hearing impaired, what actions or what steps you are going to take for them? Is there anything you can do for them?
By writing the content for the board, he or she can be made to understand.
Okay. Anyone else? अगर आपकी क्लासरूम में एक बच्चा है जो सही से सुन नहीं सकता, आप प्रोजेक्टर पे कुछ पढ़ा रहे हैं, प्रोजेक्टर पे साउंड्स आते हैं, उस बच्चे को वो सही से सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है, उस केस में उस बच्चे को इंक्लूड करने के लिए क्लासरूम में आप क्या करेंगे?
Enact.
Okay. Can we go for the easier options? Visualization. Subtitles are there. Subtitles also we can put up. We are also seeing the movies of different states, and we are going to understand that on the basis of subtitle only. So in that case, with the help of that subtitle, the children is included. ये ऑप्शन नहीं है ना कि हम वीडियो ही बंद कर देंगे, पास मेजॉरिटी ऑफ चिल्ड्रेन वो हैं, ठीक है, जो आपकी चीज़ों को रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, तो एक अगर नहीं भी समझ रहा है तो उसे एक्सक्लूड कर देते हैं सिंपली, और हमें लगता है कि इंक्लूजन है क्योंकि हमने अपनी क्लासरूम में तो बिठा रखा है उसे, बट दैट इज नॉट इंक्लूजन. इंक्लूजन इज इफ अ सिंगल चाइल्ड इज ऑल्सो देयर इन योर क्लासरूम, you have to provide resources for them. The next one is design flexible learning experiences. Okay, flexible learning experiences is your lesson plans should be in a way that every child can understand that. That's why whenever we are making the lesson plans, we are putting activities in them. Activities are there in lesson plans. Different kind of teaching learning material we are putting in them. That if someone is not able to understand by what we are speaking to them, what we are delivering to them, then what they can do? They can recognize it, they can understand it with a video or images, okay, or the posters or the activities. So this is also a way by which we can include the children. The next one is represent diversity in the curriculum. Lesson plan is up to your class level. What it is talking about, the whole curriculum on which we are working, that should also include each and every child. Which textbooks we are preferring now, it is on the basis of inclusive education. If you have gone through your textbooks which you are teaching, you will see that different kind of activities are given in them. Even the CD is also provided with the textbook. At that you can see that CD is pasted. It means that if anyone is not able to understand that, or he is a slow learner or visually impaired, any issue if he has, he can simply go to his house and he can go watch those videos. All the chapters are given in that CD also. So that is also the part of our curriculum which has been included, so that each and every child will be included in our classroom. To including each and every child, we need that kind of curriculum which we are following right now. Right now our curriculum is designed on that basis only. The next is the scaffolding. Do you know the meaning of scaffolding? Do you know the meaning of scaffolding?
एक पार्ट होता है जिसको मतलब किसी भी बच्चे को अगर नहीं समझ में आए, अगर थोड़ा सा हेल्प दे, वो बच्चा समझ जाता है. दैट प्रोसेस इज स्कैफोल्डिंग. स्कैफोल्डिंग दैट इज द एरिया.
साइकिल आप सबने सीखा है? साइकिल चलाना सीखा है सबने? जब स्टार्टिंग में आप साइकिल सीखते हैं तो क्या होता है, पीछे से कोई सपोर्ट की तरह आपको पकड़ा हुआ रहता है, और जब आप थोड़ा चला लेते हैं तो छोड़ देता है. छोड़ देते हैं ना. साइकिल इसी तरीके से सीखा है हम सब ने कि थोड़ी देर बाद उसे छोड़ दिया जाता है. वो क्यों छोड़ दिया जाता है? ताकि आपको एक स्टार्टिंग में गाइडेंस दे दी गई है, आपको सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड कर दिया गया है, अब आगे के स्टेप्स आपको खुद कंप्लीट करने हैं. इसको स्कैफोल्डिंग वही है. एट प्राइमरी लेवल यू आर सपोर्टिंग द चाइल्ड, यू आर गिविंग गाइडेंस टू देम दैट हाउ दे हैव टू परफॉर्म, ओके, हाउ दे हैव टू डू दैट वर्क. After he is able to understand that he understood what he has to do, you just have to come back. Now he will complete by his own. वो खुद से कंप्लीट करेगा. अब आपको इसमें कोई मदद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको करना क्या है, प्राइमरी लेवल पे सिर्फ आपको थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करना है, उसे थोड़ी सी गाइडेंस देनी है, उसके बाद उस काम को कंप्लीट करना उसका पर्पस है, वो खुद अपने गोल को अचीव करेगा. दैट इज स्कैफोल्डिंग. So here in classroom also what we are going to do, rather than showing someone that you are inferior or anything, that you are less than anyone, you just have to provide support to them. Like if in our classroom someone is slow learner, rather than pasting his name on the wall that he is a slow learner, what we have to do, we have to provide the help to him. Okay, we should understand what is the reason because of which he or she is a slow learner. He can't top the classroom. Okay, he can't top the class at a time, but little bit improvement we can definitely find out. अगर हम उसकी थोड़ी सी भी मदद करेंगे तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो क्लास में टॉप कर जाएगा, बट पहले से थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव तो जरूर करें. ठीक है, तो here we have to give scaffolding. The next one is build a community of learners. In classrooms, if we are giving projects, are we making groups? Groups बना रहे हैं जब project देते हैं. We are making groups of students. How we are making groups of students? This one. Whenever we are giving projects in classroom, we are making group of students that these students have to work on this topic. We are doing that. On which basis we are making the group? Roll number 1 to 5 in one group, 6 to 10 in one group. Like that we are making. Is this inclusion? No. Like the brilliant ones are aside, then the next level, then the next level. Like that we are making the group. It means we are not giving chance to each and every student that he can also do something. Now which the students who are slow learner or who are not interested in completing the project, what he will do? He will simply copy from somewhere else. He is not going to do hard work for them. But if we are going to make a group of students, like one is the brilliant one, then the next level, then the slow learner, like this, what will they work? Who is the brilliant one? He is going to force everyone to complete the project. And because of that pressure, he has to work. So, what we have to do? We have to build a community of learners. It means that like this, what will be the attitude of a child? The attitude of a child will be that I am not separated. That I can also be friend with the brilliant students in the classroom. I can also do works with them. I can also complete these hard works. Okay? So we have to prepare that community in learners only, that everyone is equal. The next one is accessible to equality. Okay, what does it mean? It means that everyone is basically equal. How we are going to, do you understand what is equity and equality? What is equity and equality? आपके पास फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पास एक बच्चा है, ठीक है, जिसकी हाइट कम है, एक बच्चा है जो बहुत लंबा है, ठीक है, और दोनों को एक फुटबॉल मैच देखना है जो ऑलरेडी नेट से कवर्ड है. उस केस में आप क्या प्रोवाइड करेंगे दोनों को? कैसे देखने के लिए खेल सकते हैं? फुटबॉल मैच चल रहा है, ठीक है, नेट से कवर्ड रहते हैं, हम जहाँ पे चलते हैं, ठीक है, तो दो बच्चे बाहर खड़े हैं, दोनों को मैच देखना है. एक की साइड हाइट बहुत कम है, एक की उससे थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा है, मगर दोनों ही नहीं देख पा रहे हैं. उस केस में क्या करेंगे? ब्लॉक्स दे सकते हैं जिसपे चढ़ के वो देख सकते हैं, ना ब्रिक दे सकते हैं, ब्लॉक्स दे सकते हैं जिसपे चढ़ के वो देख सकते हैं. दोनों को बराबर देंगे तो हो जाएगा. दोनों को बराबर देंगे, एक एक ब्रिक दोनों को दे दिया और बोला कि चढ़कर देखो, देख लेंगे? नहीं. क्या करेंगे? जो शॉर्ट हाइटेड है उसको ज़्यादा देना, दैट इज इक्विटी. जो शॉर्ट हाइटेड है उसको ज़्यादा प्रोवाइड करेंगे. जब तक आप इक्विटी प्रोवाइड नहीं करेंगे तब तक इक्वालिटी नहीं आएगी. अगर हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि इस क्लास में जितने बच्चे हैं सबको सिर्फ सेम रिसोर्स से हम पढ़ा लेंगे तो वो नहीं होगा. कहीं ना कहीं हमें रिसोर्सेज चेंज करने होंगे. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ चाइल्ड वी आर एजुकेटिंग, ऑन हिज नीड, क्या उसकी ज़रूरतें हैं, उन ज़रूरतों को समझकर भी हमें क्या करना होगा, वो चेंजेस क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे. द नेक्स्ट वन इज फीडबैक. आपने इतने सारे काम कर लिए. नाउ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू? नाउ यू हैव टू कलेक्ट द फीडबैक ऑल्सो, दैट हाउ इफेक्टिव योर ऑल द हार्ड वर्क हियर. आपने जितना काम किया है वो कितना इफेक्टिव है, ठीक है, व्हाट इज द आउटकम ऑफ दैट. ऑन दैट बेसिस ओनली यू आर गोइंग टू इम्प्रूव योर सेल्फ. So feedback is important. Now on the basis of feedback, what we are going to do? We are going to reflect and evaluate. When we got the feedback from students only, we are going to get the feedback. Okay, like for if a hearing impaired children, I have shown the subtitles. I am going to go and ask him that where did you understand or not? Was it effective for you or not? So this is a feedback from his side. On the basis of feedback, I am going to evaluate my actions. that is my actions were useful to them or not, and if it is useful, we can go with that same process, but if it is not useful to them, we need to change them. We have to go for the another method. So the main 7 principles, among those 9, the main 7 which we have to keep in our mind is teaching all students. Okay, ultimately these 7 are the main goal. Okay, teaching all students, exploring multiple ideas. To teach them, we have to go for the multiple ideas. Then what we have to do, then we are not going to judge anyone. Okay, that attitude of judging anyone, that we have to reduce. Then we have to do social justice, appropriate materials we have to provide, teaching learning materials we are going to give them, and we are also going to give them education about the culture and the religions. Religion, it's not like, now again, it's not like giving importance to some one kind of religion and showing other religions inferior. Okay, that is not. We just have to teach them that every religion is equal. Because overall what we are making the future. From each classroom, actually the future is going to the society. What we are going to teach them, that only they are going to keep in their mind all over the time, and that kind of person only they will become. So basically, teaching the student is basically building the society. Ultimately, we are building our society, because whatever they will learn, they are going to reflect on that thing only. And the next one is lesson appropriate. Okay, whatever you are teaching, whatever you are educating, that should reach to each and every child, and accordingly he or she should grow in their life. Now, what is the need and importance of inclusive education? So till now we have discussed what is inclusive education, then we discussed about the history of inclusive education, then the principles, and now what is the need. In principles we understood that what we have to do, but now the topic is why we need to do that. Okay, the first one is to fulfill the constitutional responsibility. Our constitution is saying that we can't discriminate anyone on the basis of caste, gender, creed, religion. Our constitution is teaching that. So we have to build this attitude among the children also. That's why we need inclusive education. If in a common classroom all the 30 students are from different backgrounds, whether it is from different religion, economic conditions, okay, color, caste, whatever it is, able, disabled, what they are going to understand, that we all are equal over here. It is nothing like being special or being like inferior to anyone. Because the same teacher is coming to school, the same teacher is coming to classroom, that same teacher is teaching the same lesson to all of us. So up to here we are not showing any discrimination, isn't it now? That if someone is from Hindu religion, we are teaching different textbooks are there for them, and if someone is from Christian, we are going to give different textbook to them. We are teaching the same textbook and same teacher is teaching. Okay? So this is the constitutional responsibility, that among children we have to develop that everyone is ultimately equal. The next one is to enable children to stay with their families. See, nowadays also we can find that if some family is having a specially challenged child, what they are doing, whether they are taking them as a burden for them. You would have also seen in your neighborhoods. They are simply taking them as a burden, or they are sending them to orphanages. Many people are doing right now also. In orphanages also you can find the children which are especially challenged. More of the children you can find like that. It means that the family is not allowing to stay there with them. Okay, the childs are not allowed to stay with the family and get the love and care what they deserve. So what here we have to do? We have just, see, the children are are also developing this attitude that because I have this problem, that's why my parents or my family has excluded me. They are accepting that. They are accepting that. They are not thinking that, okay, I am good, whatever it is, okay, and there is no reason that someone should discriminate me or isolate me. Here, what we have to do, we have to develop that confidence in the child. At primary stage in education, inclusive education, we are dealing with the children. So all the things we are talking about, this all attitude must be developed in the child itself. Because if he or she is confident about what he or she is, they can change their environment or the locality in which they are living. They can change the mentality of other people, or if other people are not behaving well with them, they are not going to take those words on their hurt. So at primary stage, our duty is to develop that confidence among the children. The third one is for the development of healthy citizenship. Healthy citizenship is basically, I said earlier also, I said that ultimately what we are building a society. So in society, whichever persons are there, they all have came from this education system only, they have went. So what we are going to give them today, that only they are going to reflect tomorrow. That's why what we have to do, we have to develop a healthy citizen. Next one is achieving the universalization. Okay, achieving the universalization simply means that we have to develop that acceptance in the child that you can achieve everything and anything if you want and if you have set your goal toward that. Next one is developing feeling of self-respect. Self-respect is nothing but it is just that the confidence that if you are going to discriminate that, I am not going to take that as a word that I am not able of doing anything. I can do and I can achieve anything, whatever I want, if I have that belief on it. Okay? And if someone is saying bad about me, I am simply able to give reply to them. Or simply I can break the relation with them. That also a kind of self-respect only. If you are not going to respect me, I am not going to respect you back. It is always a give and take relation. If you are going to give me respect, you will get the respect. So here what we have to do, in each and every child, we have to develop that self-respect. Next one is for the use of modern technology. Different technologies are there. Okay. Like hearing impaired children are also using, the microphones are available because due to which they are capable of studying in the normal classroom. Projectors are there, different kind of teaching learning materials are there in which a child can record the things whichever has been taught them in the classroom, and after going to home they can simply revise them. Okay, so different kind of technology we can use in the inclusive education. Social equality. Social equality is that everyone in the society is equal. And self-reality. It means that alone I can achieve whatever I want to. It's not like that always I want a support system with me. It's not like always I want a support system with me. Yeah, starting I want the support, I got that, and now I am capable of achieving or whatever I want to in my life. Next. Okay, whose inclusive education is it for? Okay, till now we have talked about many things. Earlier only while starting the session only I said that whenever we are talking about inclusive education, we simply take that it is for the specially challenged children. Simply we think about that only. But it is not only for the specially challenged children. There is many things on the basis we are including them, like orphans we are including, child laborers will also be included, over-aged persons will also be included. Education system is there now for over-aged people also who are getting education. Now, with emotional or behavioral challenges, with disabilities, with learning difficulties, with extreme poverty, girl child. Okay, in remote areas also we are including the people, the children or the person with chronic illness or extremely health conditions. Okay, refugees, street children, head of households and farm workers. When we are talking about inclusion, basically we are talking about including all these. Then only we are going to say that it is a type of inclusive education. What is the aim and objective of inclusive education? The main aim and objective of inclusive education is that education for all. Right to education we all know. Right to education is there.
तो
How
जाकर
many
तुम्हारा
of
दिन
you know
आज ही बोल रहे थे
that right to education is there? Okay, sir, can you tell me something about right to education?
It is our fundamental right. According to which the basic education should be provided to every children without their creed, caste, religion. It is the duty of government to provide what we call up to education up to, I think earlier it was 14, but now it has been extended up to, I think 16 14. So right to education or education for all, this is the it is actually the basic concept of our constitution, where it is said that every people of the country should be provided at least basic education.
So in education for all, basically we are talking about one right to education is there. Okay, right to education means each and every child has a right to get the basic education. At least the basic education. It means up to the age of 14, each and every child should go to the school. Okay, government schools are providing free education. Free education is there. This comes under right to education only, that every child should be educated up to the basic knowledge should have. Okay, to deal with his life, and earlier also if he wants to continue or not continue, but up to age 14 they have to go to the school. That is mandatory for all. And here no discrimination will be done, whether you are belonging to any caste, any class, any creed. You have to go to the school up to age of 14 and you have to complete the education. Second one is the protection of rights. Okay, protection of rights is whatever your rights are. Okay, you see, if you are going to the school, basically you are knowing that what your all rights are. That also you are coming to know about. Okay, so here what we are doing, our aim is that every child should also be aware of their rights. Okay, and if they are aware of their rights, then only they are going to protect their rights. Next one is identification of skills. If a child is going up to 14 years, if a child is attending the school, then he can also know about his different skills, and the teacher can also know about his different skills, and accordingly they can also choose their field in which they want to grow. If a child is not good with studies, maybe he or she is good in painting or dancing. A kind of skill it is also. कोई बच्चा हो सकता है कि पढ़ने में अच्छा नहीं, बट बाकी चीज़ों में तो अच्छा हो सकता है ना. So here what is the aim? That the child should also know that what special skills he or she is having, and the teacher should also know about the skills, and accordingly the teacher can motivate him. Okay, and he or she can choose their field according to their skills and their interests. Next one is development of social causes. Okay, in society also the main aim is the next aim is that in society also they are going to deal with different kind of people. Okay, so they should have that understanding and that values, that how they have to deal with everyone. Okay, without discriminating them, and simply they have to give respect to everyone, because we are making society. So if we are making societies, then they should be aware. Okay, they should be aware that how they have to deal with different type of people and different group of people which they are going to meet in the society. Next one is to prepare for new challenges. Okay, they should be prepared for the different kind of challenges they are going to face in their life. Development of brotherhood and improved quality of education. Development of brotherhood, like I said, that if we are making groups in school, what we are going to do, we are actually building that friendship among them also. Okay, earlier with the student they were not talking, but now they are capable of talking with them also with confidence. Okay, that brotherhood we are developing, as well as we are giving the quality education to each and every child. Okay, here you can see the pictures, what inclusion is all about. Here, inclusive education we are providing. Sports activity, you can see that the girl is not having leg over there, but she is also included while playing the football. Okay, the communication is also there with everyone. Like I said that development of brotherhood we are doing. So they are talking to each other, and there also practical learning is going on. Okay, here what I am trying to show that rather than some kind of problem they all are having, okay, but they all are included in different type of activities in the school. This all images of are of schools only. Next. Okay. Now, what are the barriers? We are talking about inclusive education, but everything has some problems in them. So there are also different kind of barriers in the inclusive education. Okay, the first one is the attitudinal barrier. The attitude among the kind of children we are dealing with. Like I said that in our school also I have seen in several classes I have seen, if some children are not good with the studies, what we are doing, we are simply writing their name on a page and we are pasting. So what will be the attitude of different children, other children towards them? That will develop a negative attitude towards them. So we are not going to label them. करते हैं ना, जूनियर सेक्शंस में मैंने काफ़ी क्लासरूम्स में देखे हैं, क्लास के 5-6 बच्चों के नाम बिल्कुल क्लास में एंटर करते चिपकाए हुए हैं, पुअर उस पर लिखा हुआ है पुअर स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ द क्लास, बोर्ड में लिखा हुआ है. वी आर लेबलिंग देम. And labeling someone is not good. What it will do? बाकी क्लास के जो बच्चे हैं उनका एटीट्यूड अब चेंज होने वाला है towards those 5 or 6 students. कि तुम तो हमेशा बदमाशी करते हो, तुम क्या ही आंसर्स लिखोगे, तुम्हारे तो नंबर ही नहीं आएंगे, तुम्हें क्या रिजल्ट देगा. आपने कई बार देखा होगा बच्चों को ये कहते हुए, आपस में भी कहते हैं. अगर कोई बच्चा कहते हैं मुझे कितने नंबर आए थे, तुम्हें तो फेल ही होना है, तुम्हारे क्या नंबर देते. So what we are doing by labeling, we are developing the negative attitude. Okay, so what we have to do, we have the attitudinal. So attitude is a barrier. If you are talking about inclusion, you can't include everyone without changing the attitude towards each other. Next one is the physical barrier. Because of physical barrier, also several children are not capable of attending the school. That is also a barrier to them. Next one is the inappropriate curriculum. If curriculum is not designed in a way that it can fulfill the need of each and every child, then it will also become a barrier for the children. Next one is the untrained teacher. Now B.Ed is compulsory in each and every school. Why is it compulsory now? Because we are searching for the trained teacher. It is called a PRT, TGT, PGT, trained graduate teachers, like that. So what we are searching for? We are searching for the trained teachers which can deal with different challenges in the classrooms. And if the teacher is not trained, they can't include everyone because they are only not aware of dealing with needs children. And the next one is the organization of the educational systems. बहुत सारे स्कूल्स में देखिएगा, अभी भी बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस वगैरह में ये कंपलसरी है कि स्कूल्स में रैंप होनी चाहिए। आपने बहुत सारे स्कूल्स में देखा भी होगा जहाँ रैंप्स होते हैं। इट मीन्स जो बच्चे व्हील चेयर्स वगैरह पर आते हैं उनको हम क्या बना रहे हैं, सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट भी बना रहे हैं रैंप प्रोवाइड करके, कि उन्हें किसी की नीड नहीं है, दे कैन गो बाय देयर ओन, और वो खुद से जा सकते हैं, इसलिए रैंप्स बनाए जा रहे हैं। तो एजुकेशन सिस्टम या एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन जो भी हैं उनको भी क्या होना होगा, उस तरीके से अपनी चेंजेस क्रिएट करनी होंगी। अगर वो बात कर रहे हैं इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन की, इफ़ यू आर गोइंग टू इंक्लूड एवरीवन, यू विल हैव टू चेंज okay accordingly, and you will have to fulfill the need. Okay, now here what is the role of the teacher? See, as inclusive education is about the school, so teacher is playing the most important role in this. The first one is interaction with the family. Okay, if some children is going with some emotional problem, okay, trauma, or they are physically challenged, if any issue is there, the first thing is that the teacher has to be in interaction with the parents. Like we are doing teacher-parent meeting is going on in our schools also. In each school it is happening actually. Why it is conducted? So that is the chance where we can show the performance of the child also, and with that performance we can also interact with the parents, that what is the reason behind this performance. Whether your child is going through any problem, whether it is the problem in the family or this environment of the school, he is not going to accept. Okay, those all things we can discuss. That's why the interaction with family is very important. Next one is to be able to solve their problem. As 30 students are there in your classroom, each student is having different needs. Okay, so you have to fulfill those needs also, and you have to solve their problems if you are talking about including them. If you are not going to solve their problems, you are basically not including them. What you are doing, you are simply allowing them to attend your class, and that is not inclusive. Attending anyone's class is not inclusive. Okay, if their problems are solved, if they are accepting you, or if you are accepting your child to whom you are teaching, that is the inclusive. Next one is to develop new learning strategies. With time, you have to change your learning strategies also. Okay, it's not like the way you have started, that way only you are going to follow, whether it is effective to the children or not. You will have to, like hit and trial methods are there now. Hit and trial simply means that I have planned a lesson, okay, I have worked on it, accordingly I have taught the students, but if that didn't work, what we are going to do, we have to change our strategies again. Again you are going to make the next lesson plan accordingly by keeping the changes. Simple example क्या है इसका? क्लासेस में बच्चों को शांत कराने के लिए डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स अपनाते हैं। हिट एंड ट्रायल मेथड है। कभी कह देते हैं कि आंसर को तुम्हारा नाम दे देंगे अगर शांत नहीं बैठोगे तो। हिट एंड ट्रायल मेथड है ना, बच्चे शांत, आपका मेथड वर्क कर गया। अगर बच्चे तब भी शांत नहीं हुए तो अगली बार क्या करोगे, सीधा ऑफिस भेज देंगे। मतलब एक मेथड फेल हो गया, दूसरा फिर से आपने मेथड अपनाया। सो हियर ऑल्सो दैट ओनली वी आर गोइंग टू डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ learning strategies we are going to change. After that, to be able to develop self-confidence. See, developing self-confidence is the most important thing. If the student, a child is not confident enough, okay, he can't achieve anything, because there will be a feeling of inferiority all over the life. Okay, so the most important thing is giving the or developing the confidence. And for developing the confidence, the most important thing is we have to stop labeling any child. The time if we will stop labeling them, we will develop the confidence. Next one is to be able to provide special facilities. Okay, like according to the need of the child, we have to give them different kind of facilities so that they can get the education. Next one is to be able to look after their personal needs. See, in normal schools, it is not possible for a teacher, okay, to see the personal need of everyone. Okay, it's not like we are only dealing with the 30 students. In each class, we are dealing with the 30 students. So we can't do that. Okay, so in nowadays in schools, it is mandatory. Okay, it is mandatory to keep a counselor. A counselor, it means what he is going to do, he is going to cater the personal need of the child. That's why we are keeping the counselor. In many schools you will find the counselor. What counselor is doing? Counselor is basically receiving the data of that child. Okay, like in your classroom, if you are seeing that a child is there who is not interacting with anyone. Now you don't have enough time to deal with him, to sit with him and to talk with him that why you are not interacting with others. What you can do, you can simply motivate them that okay, you can make friends with this boy or that girl. Okay, like that we can do. But we can't force him. We can simply motivate him because we are not having time to understand what is his personal need. Okay, why he is not interacting with others. For that, what we are going to do, we are going to write it as a problem, okay, that this child is not interacting with anyone. Okay, accordingly, we are going to forward that file to a counselor, which is present in our school. And that counselor is going to talk with his friends, parents, as well as the teacher also, and he will try to find out the reason behind it. Even the counselor will also talk with the child that what all are the issues. The first thing what counselor is going to do, the counselor is going to develop a healthy relationship with that child, like a friendship, okay, so that the child should be open enough to share everything with him. Like that he can fulfill the personal need of that child. Next one is to be able to recognize their hidden talent. Like I said that like I said, okay, that what we are, like I said that if a child is not good in one thing, he may be good in the another thing. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to find out that hidden talent. तारे जमीन पे देखिए सबने, देखिए मूवी सबने देखी होगी आई थिंक. यही प्रॉब्लम थी ना, स्लो लर्नर था बट ही वॉज बेस्ट इन ड्राइंग्स. So what we are going to do, we are going to find out the hidden talent. And the next one is to inculcate positive attitude in the able-bodied children. Okay, whichever children you are having in your classroom, you have to develop the positive attitude among them. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of inclusive education? First one is the friendship. Okay, if we are including everyone in the same classroom, in the same school, they are going to develop the friendship among themselves. Okay, next one is increase social intentions, relationships and networks. When they are going in society, they are going to deal with each and every people. Okay, and their relationships will also be healthy with others. They are not, after getting the inclusive education, I don't think that they will develop that mentality to discriminate anyone. Next one is peer role models of academic, social and behavioral skills. See, in classrooms, if someone is not completing the project, okay, or if someone is not doing the classwork, what we are doing, we are simply asking one of the child from his classroom only to help him. That is the peer group. Peer group is basically your friends. Okay? So what we are going to do, we are simply telling them that if this person, he is only going to complete the work, but we are providing a support to him accordingly so that he can help and accordingly he can do his work. Next one is great access to general curriculum, great opportunity for interaction, integration, increased collaboration. Okay? So these all are the basically benefits of inclusive education. Now, Now the gender ratio. This image shows the ratio, okay, of the children who are disabled and who are not disabled children, and how they are attending the schools. Like you can see that in normal schools, the female disabled children's percentage is 14%, whereas the non-disabled is the 38%. Okay? If we are talking about males, in males, disabled children are 18% who are going to a normal school and who are the part of inclusive education. Those are male disabled are 18% and male non-disabled are 30%. This is the graph of percentage which is showing that how much non-disabled and disabled students are studying in the normal schools. Okay, so this quote simply reflects what we have discussed till now. Okay, that play, learn and grow together. If we are talking about inclusion, we are basically including that they have to play together, they have to learn together, and if they are playing together, if they are learning together, then only they can grow together. Okay, thank you so much.